I'm David Bennett, and I've been promoted from entry level all the way up to senior leadership in just 5 years. And today in this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 things that I've learned over that 5-year period, super practical, so that you can apply them in your role and increase your chances of getting those promotions quicker and increasing your salary quicker as well. And make sure you stick around for number 5 because it's the exact opposite of what you would think. So before we get into it, I want to explain a bit about why I'm making this video and why promotions are so important. And so everything that I do and all the content I create and all the people that I work with, it's all about growing your salary quickly, consistently, and sustainably. So what's going to get us those salary raises that we really want, those big chunky raises, especially raises of 10K plus is what we're going to be looking for at the top end of things. And so if you think about the things that are going to be needed for that, yes, you can get a raise within a role and you can get a big raise within a role, but oftentimes you're going to need to be promoted to get those big raises. And I can demonstrate that with a quick bit of Googling. So if I search for marketing manager salary London to demonstrate, so I'll have a look at Glassdoor. Glassdoor is telling me that it is 41 to 57K for marketing manager. And now if I put in head of marketing salary London, it's telling me 53 to 81K. I think I just saw that before the pop-up came up. Yeah, 53 to 81. So the idea there is that once you get to the top of that bracket, you're going to be hamstrung. You're not going to be able to get much more out of your business as a marketing manager. You're going to have to be promoted to head of marketing, which is the next step. And so the promotion is absolutely critical in that journey of salary growth. And the other thing to note is that businesses give the biggest raises for promotions. Like, it's a very uncontroversial, easy thing for the business to argue. It's very fair to, as you get promoted and take on lots of extra responsibility, you should get a higher salary. It makes complete sense. And so businesses are set up to have minimal friction to chunky salary raises as you get promoted. So they're one of the best levers for growing your salary quickly, consistently, and sustainably. I really want to hammer home the importance of promotions and salary growth. So I'm going to tell you a really little story about one of my promotions in the past and how it led to one of my biggest raises. So quick bit of backstory. I was really struggling at my work. To get the salary that I thought I was worth, and I was working hard. I was trying to work hard, but it wasn't paying off. I wasn't getting the salary. I felt I was performing really well, and I was, but the salary that I wanted wasn't coming off. I was always away from what I thought I was worth, and I am grateful that I was getting increases bit by bit, and my manager was really great at giving me increases without me having to negotiate, but I still felt it was a little bit off, and that amount was growing over time. And that all became clear to me when I saw roles advertised in my company that with public-facing salaries that showed similar roles, similar skill sets, paid a lot higher than me. And that told me then, well, I know now that I'm underpaid. And that was a big lid-off moment for me where I suddenly knew that I was underpaid, and then I knew that I had to do something about that. And what that led to was me negotiating my first raise, which was a really, really elating moment. But I'm not going to go into that story right now. I'm going to talk about how it led to my first promotion case. So I negotiated my first raise off the back of it, but I also then, it became super clear to me that the only way to get the things that I wanted, which was to get promoted to a senior leadership position, was to ask for it and to negotiate it and to put it on the table. And so that's what I did. I put it on the table, told my manager what I wanted. I wanted to be promoted to head of department. And then I set about understanding exactly how I could get promoted to that level. What were the things I needed to do? And we'll dig into some of the things there later, but basically, we worked on it, me and my manager, for a period of months, and it was pretty miraculous because about 6 months after I'd raised it, 6 to 9 months after I'd raised it, I got promoted to head of department. And that came with a 20% pay rise at the same time. And so the reason I share that story is because it's amazing what can happen when you just level an offer on the table, you say what you want, and then you work through that with your manager. And it's amazing how quickly things can change when you start to really ask for and push for what you want. And I call this kind of process, I call it the wheel of ambition and potential. And the reason I call it that is because there are two key things that you have to show to get promoted. Well, you need to be performing well in your role, but we're going to put that to the side. We're going to assume you're performing really well in your core role. And then there are two key things on top of that. One, you have to show your ambition to get promoted. So it's rare someone gets promoted unless they push for it and ask for it, because ambition shows that you want to grow, shows you want to learn, shows you want to be in that position. Business doesn't want to put you in a position unless you want to be in it. And so, because why would you do a good job at a job that you don't want to do? So it's absolutely crucial to show your ambition to get promoted. And then the other side of that is to show your potential to fulfill that ambition by learning new things, picking up new things, and learning fast. So all the lessons that I've learned over the past 5 years are about to go into now, sit within this wheel of ambition and potential, and call it a wheel because you show your ambition and then it flips and the wheel turns, and then you've got to show your potential to fulfill that ambition. And then it flips again, and then you've got to once you've shown your potential, you show your ambition again. You say, okay, I want to take on new things now, expand again. So that's why I call it the wheel of ambition and potential. So I give you a bit of an early headline, why this is important. Promotions are key to salary growth. That's where a lot of the chunky raises exist. And you heard a bit about my story, about my promotion to head of department, how I was able to do it within about 9 months with the help of my manager, which I'm super grateful for, which a lot of you will get if you ask for it. And that came with a really, really chunky raise. So let's have a talk about those 5 rules, because those 5 lessons, because that leads on from it really, really nicely. So let's start with rule number 1. So the first rule is to always have an active job spec for your role and for the role you want to get promoted for if you are pushing for a promotion. If you've just been promoted, you're not going to need a job spec for the next level. You're going to need to nail your job spec first. But if you're pushing for a promotion, you need to have an active job spec for your role and for the promotion role. So you know exactly what you need to do to deliver on your role, and then you know the things that you need to deliver on to get promoted, or what that role is going to be responsible for. And the idea is you then rag rate I should explain what that is. Rag rate is a red, amber, green rating. So you give each part of the job description, with your manager's support, a red, an amber, and a green. So you're both aligned on the areas that you're ready for the next level and the areas that you're not. And then you know which things that you need to work on, and your manager knows which things you need to work on. You're aligned to get to that next level. So that's rule number 1. Always have an active job spec for your level and for level above. It just means that you're completely crystal clear on exactly what you need to do to get to the next level. Where are the gaps? So that's the key with that one. So that is the first one. And then the second one sort of builds on that. Rule number 2 is run a monthly development call with your manager. So what I mean by a development call is a call which is focused entirely on your development and nothing else. It's the entire goal of the call is to maximize your professional development. And the best people that I've seen who run those calls in a proactive way, from that I mean your side. So you bring to those calls what you want to work on. And the reason that I said it builds off the job spec is because it makes your life super easy to be proactive on those calls. If you have that job spec for the promotion built, you know where the gaps are, and then you come to that call every time. You can even send a message before the call and say, hey, these are the things I've been working on versus the job spec. I want you to tell me as my manager, how far am I proving myself? Am I going from red to amber, amber to green on any of these things with the things that I'm doing? If I'm not, I need your help and support to get the right projects and the right pieces of work so that I can prove myself. So that dev call becomes your leverage to push forward your promotion case and to get your manager bought in and on board with it. So having the job spec makes it super easy to be really proactive with those sessions. And when you're proactive with those sessions, it gives your manager and your business a lot of confidence that you are the right person, that you're progressing quickly, that you're showing your potential. They all these things intertwine with that wheel of ambition and potential, like I was saying earlier. So that's the second thing. Always have a monthly dev call. The third thing is to proactively search for and find opportunities to do new things. And to show that you can learn new things. So ideally, you'll be able to do new things that support that job spec from the first rule, that show that you can build in areas that are going to get you promoted. But it's just critical that your business and your manager knows that you can learn new things, you can learn them quickly, and you can be competent in new areas, because that is how you show your potential. And so the way to do it is start with the dev sessions, find out if you can get any projects from your manager, proactively suggest the types of things that you can work on, do a brainstorm, where are all these areas that you need to improve, which kind of projects could you pick up. That's like the way to match it with the job spec. Another way to do it is to look for places where people abdicate responsibility and pick up that responsibility and solve that problem. Like one of the most valuable types of people and behaviors to business are people who take action, people who are proactive, people that solve problems. And so if you find a problem that everyone's ignoring and nobody's jumping on to solve, if you jump on it and you solve it, you're showing that you're the type of person that can do something new, does it proactively, and that's the type of person that businesses want to promote. So you can search proactively for stuff that you're interested in. Also speak to people. If you need to improve your forecasting ability, speak to the best forecaster in the business and find out if you can collaborate on a project. Like, gives you an exact, that's the kind of thing you need to do to find those opportunities to do new things. Okay, so that's the third one. Fourth one is collect mentors. So these could be external mentors or internal mentors. And I also say that they can be official or unofficial. So external means you find them externally could be LinkedIn, could be through a connection from someone at work, and you're looking for someone who matches with your career progression. So you want someone who's got to the level that you're trying to get to. If you're trying to get to head of marketing as your mentor would be fantastic. And then internal, the type of people that are going to help you internally. Again, if you're trying to get to head of marketing might be your manager, so that might be the perfect fit. But you should look for people who have skill sets that you want to take on board and learn from. And that's why I say they can be an official or unofficial. So you could, if you want to improve your data skills, you could do a mentoring relationship with a data analyst with a business. And then the unofficial type of mentor is someone that you can watch. Tony Robbins always says that success leaves clues, and I latch onto that really tightly. It's so true. You can watch how someone communicates, behaves, creates documents, moves people around a goal, anything that you're trying to do to get to that next level and learn. you can watch, if you watch really closely the people that do it well and that you admire, you can pick up an incredible amount of stuff from them. I've learned some of my best skills I have picked up and learned over time by watching people in the business who are really great. A lot of that is in communication and rallying teams around goals. So yeah, collect mentors, external, official, unofficial, know who the people are that you're wanting to learn from, and collect them. And ask for help. Like, if you ask for help, it will be given often. People love to help other people. So please ask for help. It really works. Okay, and then the last one, this is number 5. So this is the one that I said was going to be the opposite of what you think. So what do people normally do when they want to get promoted? They do a course, or they spend money on an L&D budget. I say, don't waste your time on that. Learn on the job. And that might be a bit controversial, but from my experience, I've done courses. Often, almost always, there is minimal real practical value to be applied in your context from each course per se. So I'm not saying courses have no value whatsoever. What I'm trying to say here is that learning on the job is unbelievably valuable, and it can be done so quickly. So if you can align your job with the things that you're trying to learn, say for example, you're trying to improve your data skills, in your next project, you're going to do all the data stuff for it. You've then aligned your role at work with the skill that you're trying to learn. So you're getting paid to learn rather than having to buy a course and doing your extra time and you're just watching videos and then you have to try and figure out how to apply it. Instead, you're actually doing the thing that you're trying to learn to do. So that the best way to learn is like that. And you could then, as you get stuck, you can ask your mentors for help, or you can search for a quick video on YouTube or something like that about that very specific thing as you get stuck, rather than having to go through a full 5-week course on something. So it's a lot it's a lot quicker of a method, a lot more you can find the areas that you get stuck and then get the help on those areas rather than having to do this big course. So there are exceptions. So I do understand that, if you're trying to be an accountant, you got to do a bunch of accountancy exams. I completely get that. And there are some exceptions to that. But in general, learn on the job, focus on learning on the job and aligning your job with the things that you need to improve on. So that's top 5 rules that I have learned over the past 5 years, getting promoted from entry level to senior leadership. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd love for you to join our community as well. So I run a free weekly newsletter with more information and tips, all on similar topics. It's all aimed at growing your salary quickly, consistently, and sustainably. So just hit the link below and put in your best email address to subscribe, and you'll get a weekly email every Sunday from me. But thanks so much for watching.